So in this video, we're going to continue on, and we are going to add things like images, tables, charts, and lists in our chapters. In everybody's article, I'm sure you have come across things like, so here we go. So things like, bar graphs, charts, tables, images that you must add to your book. So let's go see how we can get that done. So let's start off with just adding an image. So I'm going to go over to chapter 1 here. Okay, so let's see, I don't have this image there yet, and I'm going to add my first image. So to add an image, I start off with creating a frame. Okay, so this is the frame tool over here, rectangle frame. So you click and drag that onto your page here, and then without clicking anything else, I'm going to go to File, Place, and I'm going to go over to my figure 10 and place my image there. Okay, so here I'm going to go to Object and Content, Fitting, not Content, and I'm going to fit content proportionately. There we go. And this way it's not skewed one way or another. And I can see that my frame here, the blue box around it, is now too big for my image. So I'm just going to clean that up a bit, going to Fitting again under Object and Fit Frame to Content. There we go. And I can see that around my content, it's actually, the text is actually underneath my content. So what I need to do is under Properties here at the bottom here, I'm going to go to Text Wrap Around Bounding Box. There we go. But now the text is too close to my box here, or my image here. So I'm just going to go down here to increase the space around my box, or the padding. Go to 6, 7, 10 pixels should be good. Okay, and when you have this locked, it changes all around, left, right, top, bottom. And just going to click away from that, so that looks good. I can move it around and everything should adjust accordingly. Okay, so that's how I add my image. So now let's go over to chapter 3, and maybe in chapter 3 I like to add a chart or bar graph. Okay, so I do the same thing. I start off by creating this frame here using my frame tool. I go to File, Place, and then I'm going to place my chart here. Okay, inside there, it's too big, so it's going to need to be fitted. So Object, Fitting, Fit content proportionately, that way it doesn't get skewed one way or another. And then after that, I'm going to make sure I go Object, Fitting, and then Fit Frame to Content. There we go. And after that, I make sure that I have this text wrap around the bounding box, and I'm going to create some space around there as well. Okay, so now that I'm happy with it, I'm going to move this around because there's just an orphan A over there. There we go. So that looks good. So a chart is really just like an image. I just placed it. And where did I get the chart from? I got the chart from here. Okay. So what I did was I clipped it and then I saved it as a JPEG. Okay. So what I did here was went like that. And you can take a snapshot or export selection as if I take a snapshot. Now that's saved, and then I open up Photoshop, okay, and then I paste that in Photoshop and export it as a JPEG, and that's how I get that image. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is a table. So with a table, we're not going to just take a snapshot and save it as an image. We're actually going to create the table. So let's go take a look at how to do that. Okay, so I'm going to save here. So let's go into chapter 4. So in chapter 4, I have this space over here. This is where I'm going to add my table. Okay, so for you it would be different. Whichever chapter you need to add it on, that's where you do it. So over here in table, I'm going to go create table, and I can figure out how many rows and columns. So let's go take a look at that. Rows and columns. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's just start with the top one, 8. There. So 7 rows, actually in columns is 4, and then 1 header row, and just a basic table. We'll begin with that, and I'm going to put it over here. Okay, and you can change the the table style later on. All right, so right now I'm going to go and then add my first row, traits, rainfall, TM, Tmax. Traits, rainfall, T min, and Tmax. I'm going to change that to there. And then I'm going to enter my first row here, sensory characteristics. We have to move that there. Move some of this around. Okay, so maybe I need to merge all this. There we go, merge cells. There we go. So I don't have that problem I was having before. And now I'm going to go back and enter fragrance, aroma, acidity, so one row after another, and I don't think that you need to watch me do that. But anyway, that is how you would create a table. Okay, and to change the height of each row, you can just drag each line and go like so, and there we go. And you can of course create styles for your table and so on, and this is treated just like a table in any other, just like in any other application. You might be familiar with it in Word or other applications. All right, so the next thing I like to show you is how to create a list. Okay, so let's go over to chapter 2, where I believe I have already a list here. Okay, so this list came from my article here. Let me go see where that list is. Oh, right here on this page 227, I have this list here, and that happens to be in my chapter 2. Okay, so to make something into a list, let's highlight what that list is, and then I'm going to go over to there we go. So let's scroll down here under properties. If you don't see it, you need to scroll down. I had trouble seeing it just now. So scroll down here and you can add that to a list. There we go. And then it's supposed to be Roman numerals. So I'm going to change that to format. There we go. And go OK. So now I already have this sort of numbers here. I'm just going to delete that. Okay. Here we go. All right, if I think that should be indented a bit, let's go to options and see if I could indent it, left alignment, left indent. Maybe I could indent it more. I could also preview it before there we go. So there's my indent there. And here we have a list. So please do make sure that you have at least one list, one chart, a few images, and one table. Okay, so that is required of you in your ebook. In the next video, we'll take a look at publishing it. But that is it for now.